Hi, my name is Rich Briggs, brand director at Crystal Dynamics.
So Rich, what are you guys showing here with Rise of the Tomb Raider today?
Today is our extended preview event where we're letting people play through the first 3 hours of the game.
So what did you guys learn from past Tomb Raider games that you're applying to this one?
There's a lot that we looked at, and whenever we look at developing a sequel, you want to figure out what works and usually keep that. You want to figure out where you can make the improvements, and you also want to figure out new ways to surprise and delight the player, as we say. So it's kind of a thirds approach, but really what we wanted to improve was more options around combat. So that's something that was a big focus for us. So Lara having more guerrilla tactics, more ways to either avoid combat, such as with using trees or going underwater, as well as more ways to do stealth takedowns, distract, craft explosives on the fly, so a lot of different guerrilla combat tactics. And another big way was adding more tombs. That was something that fans really told us that they wanted more tombs, they wanted more puzzles, and so we really look at this as a return to the tombs, where in Rise of the Tomb Raider you've got more main tombs, more side tombs, and they're all filled with really challenging puzzles.
The game is called Tomb Raider, so yeah, that makes sense. Can you talk about kind of improvements you made on the crafting system? Because the first one had a very deep crafting system.
Correct. We still have the same things where you're customizing your weapons, but now you're able to craft ammo on the fly. So for example, if Lara finds some mushrooms in the environment, she can craft poison arrows while she's moving, and this gives her a lot more flexibility during combat options, as well as taking out a group of enemies at once. You can also heal yourself on the fly now, so if you have the right ingredients, it's the right berries, the right cloth, it'll speed up the regeneration process, which also will come in handy in combat. So we really wanted to make it very fluid, where you feel like you've got more options, but also it's not a hindrance. You don't have to go back to the campfire to do it. You can do that right as you're moving. Same thing with explosives. You can find different items in the field, such as a gas tank, create a huge Molotov cocktail.
Can you talk about, story-wise, when this game takes place after the first one, a few years, a few months?
This takes place approximately 1 year after the events of Tomb Raider, Lara's return from Yamatai, and this is really about her trying to find proof of the immortal soul. She glimpsed something in her last adventure, and now she's realizing that she has to embrace her destiny as the Tomb Raider in order to find it. So it's this search, and what we found that we really wanted to do, and what was important to us, was take her on her first tomb raiding expedition. Whereas before, she was thrust into a survival situation, this time around, Lara is proactively going off on an adventure. She's making the choice to put herself in danger, put herself in harm's way for what she thinks is right.
What do you think it is about Lara's character that has her survive the test of time over these last 20 years?
I think there's a couple things. I think that number one, she has a lot of intelligence, and that's something that we really try and play up, for example, with the new translation system. I think that there's a certain grit to her. She's got that style and that flair that even when she's doing something that seems really hard, you feel like she's pushing herself as far as she can, and that's something that we really like to do with our survival element. And what we do with survival action is make it feel very grounded, make it feel very, very gritty. And so part of the reboot is humanizing Lara and making sure that she comes across as someone who can do amazing things, but it's not that she's pushed up to 11. She's not Teflon. This is an ordinary person in an extraordinary situation, and she's doing what she has to do to survive that.
Now, the model of Lara looks a little bit different in this game. Can you explain to people why?
It's not a question of changing it for the sake of changing it, but every time we try and push more and more human characteristics with Lara. And so just with technology, the advancements that happen, we can have muscle deformation, we can have better skin, the subsurface scattering of the light, the way that the light will shine through her ears, the way the eyes move, her animations. So it's just about her becoming more and more lifelike, and the technology allows us to do that. And along the way, yes, her model will change a little bit, but we like to retain those signature things, little things like the M in her lips or her ponytail. Those are the things that we retain, but the more and more human she becomes, you will see those little subtle shifts in the model.
Can you talk about some of the environments Lara will be exploring in this game?
So we have 2 geographic locations. She goes to Syria, and then she will also go to Siberia. But within Siberia, we want to have a wide variety of environments. So you'll have snow, you'll have oasis, you'll have lush forests, you'll have cave environments. The tombs offer a wide variety of environments as well. So even though you're in one geographic location, we always want the player to feel like they're discovering a new type of place.
So you talk a little about what you're showing here today with the the Cold War Russian base.
Yes, so we have the Soviet hub installation. And the thing that's exciting about this is, number one, it's 3 times larger than anything we were able to deliver in the original Tomb Raider. It's filled with things to do. So while there is obviously the main story path that you can progress, once you go in, this is where the game really opens up, because you can hunt, you can look for resources, there are multiple challenge tombs that are optional so you can discover them, there are missions that you can do for friendlies that are in the area. Just tons and tons of exploration and player discovery that's waiting there, and this is where we think the game really opens up. So again, you can always go back and continue the main story adventure, but if you want to really explore this thing fully, there's hours of content there.
And when does Rise of the Tomb Raider come out?
Rise of the Tomb Raider will be out on Xbox One and Xbox 360 on November 10th.